What is Web3 gaming anyway? I asked myself the same question and I decided to do some research and find out whether it's just a passing fad, whether we're gonna get anytime a crypto gaming bull run, and whether these Web3 crypto games are here to change the game. Pun intended. In this show, I'm going to look at what Web3 gaming is, what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, why this is revolutionary, if it's revolutionary at all, and I'm going to bring you 5+1 projects to look at for this bull market. There is a billion ways to make money in crypto, and I am on a mission to find them all. The best thing is if I find anything, I share it with you, so if I make money, you can make money too. If that sounds good, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Let's get into the show. Let's talk about Web 2 gaming first to understand what we really are talking about. Web 2 gaming is an industry valued at $250 billion currently, predicted to reach $664 billion by 2033. But we're talking about $250 billion, which is equivalent to the GDP of New Zealand, for example, or Portugal, which is absolutely crazy. We have about 3 billion people playing games globally, which is about 40% of the total population. Gaming is advancing like crazy. You probably have seen these VR googles that people use. Lots of games are being developed on there. Esports, which you probably have heard about, our estimated revenue is 4.3 billion in 2024, which is again absolutely insane as well. Twitch statistics is crazy. So 7-day average viewers is 2 million, which is actually the same numbers they had in COVID. And that means that COVID, when everybody was at home, everybody could do what they wanted to do at home at their computer, probably watching the screens. The numbers have not changed since then, as you see on this graph, which is also very, very bullish for gaming. Now, playing video games could be considered kind of like a waste of time. And that's why a lot of people move to a play to earn model, or a model where they can earn by playing their favorite video games. And that's where crypto and Web3 comes into the picture. Now, crypto gaming is an extremely growing segment within the gaming industry. And it's not only because you can earn tokens and then swap those tokens for USDT and actually earn while playing the game, but not only the earning potential is important here, but also the integration of blockchain technology with NFTs and digital identities and unique assets that could be put on the blockchain, and you could transfer that from game to game and take it wherever you go, regardless of your user identity on the game. Now, I mentioned NFTs. The question really is what NFTs are. So if you don't know, NFTs are non-fungible tokens or unique digital assets verified using the blockchain. So until now, if you buy a gun in the game, that's stored on the server of that game. If the game goes under or it gets hacked, you lose your assets within the game that you worked hard for. But if it's put on the blockchain, you're never going to be able to lose it because the blockchain is immutable. And that means that instead of storing your gun on the interface, on the servers of the game, you can store it on the blockchain and transfer it from wallets to wallets in exchange for USDT, USDC, or what you have. Now, this opens up a complete new set of possibilities for gamers. Imagine being the first player to unlock a specific weapon or character skin or do a special trick in the game that's never been done before. Now it will be recorded, put on the blockchain, and you will own that as an event or as the first specific asset that's ever been unlocked in the game. Now, I was playing a lot of video games in my high school years, and the problem was that I literally got banned from the game. I was like top 100 gamers on this specific game I'm not gonna mention, and I got blocked or banned because they said I was cheating, which I promise you I haven't. Anyway, if I would have had my assets in my Solana wallet, I could just open up another account and connect my Solana wallet, and these guys could not have taken this away from me. And the other thing what I just mentioned is that it's unique. So you already have unique skins, and kids talk about what kind of gun you have, what kind of character skin you have. But now I can have this on the chain in my wallet and prove that this is the first one, this is the only one, this is the unique one, and therefore it has some kind of value. If you think, why would this have any value? Well, let me tell you something. Think about sports cars, for example. There is an extremely huge market for them. If you look at this, for example, this is the top 10 most valuable trading cards ever sold. And this card, 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card, this card from 1952 was sold for $12.6 million with an M, million dollars for a card. But this is something we call TradeFi, right? These are the old guys, the old collectors. In the new world, going forward, people won't collect physical cards. They will collect digital cards. Now back to gaming. It is not new in gaming to see these things. So for example, the 10 most expensive CSGO and CS2 skins in 2023. If you scroll to the bottom, yeah, of course, there are knives and stuff that goes for $1,000. But if you scroll to the bottom of this article, you will see that the most expensive skin, it's a knife. It's literally a knife. Goes for $200,000. Absolutely insane. But if you look at this, the CSGO is not the only one that is implementing, and you can sell them by these crazy value things. You can look at Steam, for example, where you can already trade, even for under $1, you can trade these kilowatt case in Counter-Strike 2 and whatnot, different kind of skins and guns and cases and, you know, like all that stuff. Now, companies moving, obviously, because of these reasons, companies are moving into Web3 gaming a lot. 𝗙𝗢𝗥𝗟𝗘𝗙 partnered with Ubisoft, for example. EA calls NFTs and blockchain games the future of our industry in earning call. And this is something quite interesting, that the net revenue generated by Electronic Arts EA from extra content sales from fiscal year 2018 to 2024 is $4.5 billion. Now, what is extra content revenue? And that's basically microtransactions. We're looking at buying a skin, buying a new, again, gun, buying any extra gear, or buying any bucks. Now, $4 billion, $4.5 billion actually has been sold since 2018 only by EA on these microtransactions. So this shows you that there is market for these kind of transactions, and there is a market for play to earn or own assets in game and transfer assets in game. And this is definitely something to look into. So what kind of data do we have for crypto gaming? Well, let's look into it. Number one, we see that a blockchain gaming hit an average 2.9 million daily unique active wallets, commanding 28% of April's total DApp, decentralized application industry activity. This means that 28%, almost 30% of all DApp activity was coming from crypto games. And if you look at this chart, you will see that as well. You will see down here what kind of category they're coming from, and most of them are coming from GameFi. This is the top DApps by 30 unique active addresses. So these are the addresses that are active on these different DApps, and as you see, most of them are coming from GameFi. There are big movers in the industry. Arbitrum DAO has approved a $200 million worth of ARB gaming catalyst proposal, and that basically means that they're gonna inject $200 million in crypto gaming, $225 million actually into crypto gaming on the Arbitrum ecosystem, which again is something that should excite you and should make you feel like, wow, this thing is going somewhere. Now let me just bring you some OG games that are worth mentioning before we start talking about the major projects that I think can be extremely lucrative going into this bull market, because I think it's fun to recircle and just talk about these projects. So CryptoKitties being number one. Now this is the first known game to be used or to use on the blockchain. CryptoKitties created in 2017. They went absolutely nuts. The basic idea was that you can get these NFTs and they represent these virtual cats basically. The game was so popular in 2017 that it congested the Ethereum network. That's how crazy this thing went. It completely came to a halt, all-time high number of transactions in 2017. CryptoKitties, if you've been here around, you know this and you remember this. It's been absolutely crazy. Some of these kitties were sold for $200,000, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Another OG is Axie Infinity. Now, again, you probably heard about Axie Infinity. The whole idea here was you can collect, breed, raise, and battle these on-chain creatures called Axies with all their assets and much more. They were basically one of the largest games to come out of the 2021 bull market. They had a valuation of $10 billion and 2.8 million monthly active users at the peak. So absolutely insane. They still have like about 360,000 monthly active users, which is still substantial, to be very honest with you. But I think the games that I'm going to bring you are going to outperform this one. Another OG is Sandbox. You have probably heard Sandbox anywhere if you've been in the space for some time now. They've been around for some time. They were instrumental in the metaverse, crypto and metaverse blockchain gaming space. At the peak of the bull run, they were valued at about $5 billion. In 2021, actually, Snoop Dogg invested into the metaverse through Sandbox. He actually purchased a virtual land to build his virtual mansion, and then you could get these Snoop Dogg avatars and cars and whatnot. It was pretty interesting. But now, I think it's time for us to talk about the most interesting projects, or the 5+1 projects that I think could be super duper interesting in this bull. Super duper Is that really what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go. So one of the games I'm bullish on is Pixels. And I know, they launched in 2022, they made headlines and whatnot, but they are still relevant. It's a Web3 game. If you don't know, it's a casual Web3 game with an open world. They took a lot of inspiration from stuff like RuneScape and like this childhood stuff. If you're these 90s kids or 2000 kids, you actually have been playing a lot of these games and you will like the whole interface. I'm not a big player, to be very honest with you, but I actually enjoyed going in here and just playing around. It's pretty fun. It's a completely free-to-play game with the possibility of paid memberships. They actually just launched Chapter 2, so if you have been playing Pixels and you got tired of it or whatever, it might be worth checking out. Again, they are still relevant. They have about 23 million monthly active users even today, and we are not on the peak of the bull market, so this could send it. The second one is, I would say, Notcoin and Hamster Kombat, but I'd rather categorize them as Telegram games. So these tapping Telegram games with all these additional exciting stuff. We're actually bringing you something super exciting. I can't tell you yet, but stay tuned. Follow me on X. We're gonna publish everything very, very soon. There is a link in the description, but just a side note. But anyway, these Telegram games, especially Notcoin, has been extremely successful. It reached almost a 3 billion market cap, 2.5 billion market cap at its peak. And these tapping games are onboarding millions and millions and tens of millions and potentially hundreds of millions of players. Telegram has 900 million users. So all tapping games, we're talking about Notcoin, we're talking about Hamster Kombat, and something that we're launching very, very soon is gonna be very, very exciting and very lucrative in my opinion. You definitely need to keep an eye on that space. Now, before I proceed, I wanna share something crazy with you. Every project I talked about, there is one common denominator other than they are all Web3 games, and that is that there is a brand that invested and seeded all of them, and that is Animoca Brands. Now, Animoca Brands has helped massively to most of the games that we've talked about, and basically the success of these games also come from the success of Animoca Brands. Now, their whole goal is to help people and gamers with their digital assets and make it possible to earn money through gaming and help build basically a complete open metaverse. Now, the company is run by 𝗏𝗏𝗏, who is a Hong Kong-based entrepreneur and billionaire. He's been fundamental. If you actually follow crypto gaming at all, you know that he's been fundamental and instrumental in the blockchain gaming space. He's the co-founder and chairman of Animoca Brands, but that's not the reason why I bring them up here. The reason why I bring them up here is because they are launching something called Mocaverse. Now, we partnered with Mocaverse for this video because I do believe that they have something that you do not want to miss if you're bullish on crypto gaming. And you should be bullish if you've been listening in the past 10 minutes. Anyway, Mocaverse is the Animoca Brands membership NFT. It's 8,888 unique beings. They are called Mocas. They live in different tribes, angels, builders, dreamers, connectors, and whatnot. And they represent access to the Mocaverse universe. But what is Mocaverse universe other than the full focus of Animoca Brands currently? Now, imagine an interoperability infrastructure. And I know it sounds difficult, but bear with me here. What they planning to do, they have hundreds and hundreds of games and partners that are interested in partnering, launching with Animoca Brands or already have launched with Animoca Brands, and they want to create a home for everything they do. Basically build a big umbrella that can accommodate all their projects, and that's what Mocaverse will be. They don't only have the NFTs, but also build a whole infrastructure, and that needs a token. They will have the Moca token launching very soon, but let me talk about that and the success of the pre-sale as well in a second. So the Animoca chain or the Moca chain without really being a chain. So the way it will work is that they partner up with Realm Network, for example. They're gonna have Realm accounts, Realm IDs, Realm points, and all that to interact within the game or within all the other games. They will have a Moca Launchpad, again, which will allow you to get access to their whole infrastructure. And when I say their and whole, I mean Animoca Brands' entire network and infrastructure. And considering all this, I genuinely truly believe that understanding the Animoca Brands' reach, their valuation, their understanding of the industry, this could be literally one of the biggest launches this year. Now, just so you know that I'm not just speaking out of thin air here, I want to tell you that some of the tokens that they've been involved or backed with reached massive, crazy valuations. For example, Pixels at 2.5 billion, Run at 2.9 billion, X Infinity 2 billion, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 4 billion, Matic 6.5 billion, Aptos 9 billion. So do not underestimate the power of this brand and the power of this launch. The Moca token will represent the project that seeds all of the projects that reach these crazy valuations. They already have some crazy stuff that they achieved. They had a public sale that sold out within 6 hours, 30 million pre-seeded, 120 million market cap, and 60 million trading volume on their NFTs, which actually got 72x compared to mint price. Over 1.4 million Moca IDs minted, which you can get through an NFT or you can get it through a unique invite code. And above all that, they raised over $31 million from OKX, Polygon, and many other big backers. Now, you can have the best game and the best product in the world, but it will all come down to users at the end of the day. Now, they onboarded 1.4 million people already through their IDs, but it's very important to know that when I read the brief for the sponsorship, I was actually shocked that they have over 700 million users to their network, in their games that they are invested and seeded, which is just insane. Like, if they manage to pull off just a quarter of these people onto Mocaverse, this can be extremely big. They do have an airdrop, of course, that's coming. You are able to farm their airdrop by completing tasks with your Moca ID, and you can get a Moca ID, as I said, from an NFT. You can go into their explore page and see the NFTs. These NFTs go for about 4 to 4.5 ETH, which might sound a little bit pricey, but if you consider the brand behind them, and this is also not just a JPEG that you're buying, but actual utility, this could be an interesting play, 5 to 10x play. I will buy 1 or 2 NFTs soon. And if you manage to get your hands on a code, you can just claim Moca and it will prompt you. Then when you sign up, you can just add your Moca ID. Then when you claim your Moca ID, you can just fill in, you can get your own Moca ID name here. You can mint your ID. And when it's done, you will see the task, you can get access to the interface, and you can participate in the airdrop or farm their airdrop. Now, this sounds good. And if you like this, I definitely recommend you check them out. There is a link in the description. I personally like this project. I actually think because of the brand behind them and the brains behind them, I do think this can be very big. So if you want to look into crypto gaming, I do think you have to check out them. Again, link in the description. Let me know what you think. Third game is Shrapnel. Now, the reason why I'm actually bullish on this game, first of all, these shooting games, these FPS games are pretty exciting. And the second is, look at this quality. Like, the first time I saw this quality, I was like, this is insane. This is like, for an online game, especially a crypto game, absolutely insane quality. What you see already in this tweet as well, they say that you can compete for Shrap tokens. They have over 490,000 followers on Twitter. They are launching in Q4 of 2024, so very, very soon. If you're a gamer and if you play with FPS games, this could be a very interesting play for you. Next game I'm bringing you is 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now, I am extremely bullish. Again, I'm kind of bringing all this together in a way what I resonate with and what I personally would play. So I think a game is going to be big, not only because of the in-game features and whatnot that they incorporate tokens and NFTs and everything else, but I do think that if you like playing the game and if it looks good and it's attractive, it's not like, so the reason I think Pixel is great as well, but the problem with Pixel is like, it's attracting a type of user, right? So if you're playing those kind of games, you've been playing them a long time ago, that's great, but actual players who play Call of Duty and GTA and all that will not come and play these games most likely. But if you look at 𝗏𝗏𝗏, this is absolutely insane graphics. Look at the gameplay in here. So this is how the gameplay looks. I actually love, you know, space and whatnot. You have to compete, you have to collect resources. Everything that you build and collect will be put on the blockchain, stored on the blockchain, and trade on the blockchain. So this could be a very lucrative play as well. Exploring has always been my kind of thing, but the game is also very popular. They have 340 followers on Twitter, posting regularly, posting updates. Look at this. I mean, this is, I'm genuinely excited about this game, genuinely. So, but let's go to the next one. If you have ever played Age of Empires, you know, that old game where you collect resources and whatnot, I'm bringing you something pretty cool, and that's called Blocklords. Blocklords. It's also a pretty cool name, but the website looks incredible as well. The game, the idea behind the game is the same with Age of Empires. So you have to conquer lands, you have to manage those lands, collect resources, build, and then obviously fight with enemies. The website looks absolutely incredible. If you look at this, the gameplay is also great. Let me show you around. So this is the same way. You have your own people who harvest wheat, and you have to, you know, cut wood, and then from there you can advance your village and fight with others as well. So the reason why I think this can have a great run is because they accommodate for different kind of people. There are people, I personally like these kinds of games as well. You could play Assassin's Creed, or again, if you have played Age of Empires, the same idea behind that in a very great environment. And again, crypto game. So this was not imaginable before to see these. They have 307,000 Twitter followers. Again, the game is great, the narrative is great, and the fact that it is on blockchain and you will be able to keep your assets everywhere as NFTs can be very, very bullish on this as well. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is 𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now, this is something controversial, probably, but these are cute colored bunnies shooting at each other. That's what this is. If you like CSGO or CSGO 2, or if you like these FPS games, but you want a little bit of twist and funniness, I think this could be interesting. Also, very, very great graphics, great maps, great idea behind. They will have death matches, battle royals, and much more. The gameplay actually looks incredible. But if you go onto the about page and you go about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, what is interesting for me, or what I picked up, is you'll be able to engage with AI-driven characters on your digital assets and be rewarded. So they are not only bringing in NFTs and blockchain, but also bringing in AI that could add additional stuff. Other than obviously it being a great game, all these additional features can add value to the game. They have massive followers as well, over 100,000, but you can see some of the crazy stuff they do with AI. So the character that you do will actually mimic your face through the camera. So when you're playing with a character, the webcam will record you or see you, and your character will move the way you move your face, which is of course pretty funny as well. Exciting, so check them out as well. And then last but not least, off the grid. Now, personally, I think this could be interesting because I personally love battle royale games. So the idea behind here is that you go into the game, you compete with all these other people. Actually, they say that it's a 60-hour. Somewhere they say it's a 60-hour narrative campaign, which is also pretty interesting. It's a dystopian future game where players engage in high battles, and basically the whole idea is to survive. Hunger Games kind of scenario in a dystopian future. Again, looks sick. Looks absolutely sick. This is their gameplay. Again, one of the best. When I started gaming, this was, even with the proper not Web3 games, this was unreachable. So I really, really, really like the quality on this game as well. And if they can really, as you see, they can make it a little bit smarter than just go and shoot, I like it. So I'm actually bullish on this as well. These were basically the games. There are a bunch of games that we could talk about. All of them gonna have different characteristics, AI, blockchain, and all that kind of stuff. I would recommend you, if you're interested in this space, to dig deeper into than just watching this video. You can look up Animoca's brand's website, what they actually title on their blockchain games. You can find all the games that are, it's a lot of games, are related to them. But you can also go on to Superverse. You can find all the games that they have up here. Also an interesting place to look through that. And that was basically it, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this content, I do recommend you subscribe to the channel. But before you leave, that's not the only place where you should subscribe. There is a gaming channel. We have a gaming channel called In The Game. You gotta check it out. There is a link in the description. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the legend, is bringing you extreme gaming alpha every single time. It's dedicated gaming channel of ours. Highest gaming alpha in the industry. Check it out. Link in the description, called In The Game. And if you like this content, please, please, please let me know in the comment section. Like this show, share this show, and I believe I will see you in the next one. Take care.